Dear viewer, welcome to CA Education BD. Today our topic CA Knowledge Level Assurance Chapter 2 Process of Assurance Obtaining an Engagement Part 3. I am Mohammad Sohail Rana with you. CA Education BD is a part of MS Rana Consulting Services. Let's go. Audit, including the composition of the audit team, expectation of receiving and management written confirmation of representation made in connection with the audit, a request for management to acknowledge receipt of the audit engagement letter and to agree to the term of the engagement outlined therein, the agreement of management to inform the auditor of fact that may affect the financial statement of which management may become aware during the period from the date of the auditor report to the date the financial statement are issued, description of any other letter or report the auditor expect to issue to the client, the confidentiality of any report issue and, if relevant, the term under which they can be shared with third parties, the basis on which fees are computed and agreements When relevant, the following point should also be made in the audit engagement letter. Agreements concerning the involvement of other auditor and experts in some aspect of the audit. Agreements concerning the involvement of internal auditor and other staff of the entity. Arrangement to be made with the the auditor, if any, in the case of an initial audit. Any restriction of the auditor liable when such responsibility exists. A reference to any further agreement between the auditor and the client. Any obligation to provide audit working paper to other parties. An example of an audit engagement letter is set out in the Appendix 1 of BSA 210. Audit engagement letter for requiring audits. On requiring audit, the auditor should consider whether circumstances require the term of the engagement to be revised and whether there is a need to remind the clients of the existence term of the engagement. The auditor may decide not to send a new audit engagement letter or other written agreement is period. However, the following factor may make it appropriate to send a new letter to revise the term of the audit engagement or to remind the entity of existing term. Any indication that the entity misunderstands the objective and scope of the audit, any revise or special term of the audit engagement, a recent change of senior management, a significant change in ownership, a significant change in nature or size of the entity's business, a change in legal or regulatory requirement, a change in the financial reporting framework adopted in the preparation of financial statement, a change in other reporting requirement. Acceptance of a change in the term of the audit engagement. A request from the entity for the auditor to change the term of the audit engagement may result from a change in circumstance affecting the need for the service, a misunderstanding as to the nature of an audit as originally requested, or a restriction on the scope of the audit engagement, whether imposed by the management or caused by other circumstances. The auditor would consider carefully the reason justification given for the request, particularly the implication of a restriction on the scope of the audit engagement. Is change in circumstances that affect the entity's requirement or a misunderstanding concerning the nature of service originally requested may be considered a reasonable basis for requesting a change in the audit engagement. In contrast, a change may not be considered reasonable if it appears that the change relates to information that is incorrect, incomplete, or otherwise unsatisfactory. An example might be where the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding receivable and the entities asks for the audit engagement to be changed to a review engagement to avoid a qualified opinion or a disclaimer of opinion. Before agreeing to change an audit engagement to a review or a related service, an auditor who was engaged to perform an audit in accordance with BSA may need to assess. In addition to the above matter, any legal or contextual implication of the change, where the term of the engagement are changed, the auditor and the client should agree on the new term. The auditor should not agree in a change of engagement where there is no reasonable justification for doing so. An example might be an audit engagement where the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding receivable and the entity asks for the audit engagement to be changed to a review engagement to avoid a qualified opinion or a disclaimer of opinion. If the auditor is unable to agree to a change of the engagement and is not permitted to continue the original engagement, the auditor should withdraw and consider whether there is any obligation, either contextual or otherwise, the report to other parties such as the board of directors and shareholders the circumstance necessitating the withdrawal. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe this channel, like and share this video, provide your valuable comment and like our Facebook page. Thanks for watching.